Given. Right, Shea's still a young goalkeeper. You know, he's 22. He's done really well this year. Ireland's goalkeeper. He's very, very good shot stopper. Shea, plus the fact that goalkeepers coming to their prime, you know, in their late 20s, and Shea's only 22, so he's got a big future ahead of him, Shea. And he's made the #1 position his own here. Nick Bezos. Not a lot of people knew about Nick when he first came. From Olympiacos, obviously very highly rated. Plays for the Greek national team, and Olympiacos did really well, and no one knew much about him, but from the first day he was here, you could see that he's quality. Very good in the air. I mean, he's only about 6 foot, but he's probably the best jumper. I won't go as far as to say header of the ball, but he can certainly get the highest in Newcastle's team. We didn't pay much money for him either, so, you know, that's the bargain of the season as far as I'm concerned. Number 6, Steve Howie. One of those who has went to the back from being centre forward. He's a centre forward, didn't do particularly well, as you can imagine. I wasn't here at the time, but most centre backs who were centre forwards weren't particularly prolific at centre forward. But what that means is that he's very good on the ball, very comfortable, comes out with the ball very well. So hopefully he can get his career back in order and you know, not suffer from many injuries, but you know, another excellent defender who's very good on the ball. Stuart Pearce. Come on, Percy, up you come. Stuart is an uncompromising defender. His will to win is second to none. You know, he really has added that to the... I mean, obviously I wasn't at Newcastle before, but I've known Percy for a long while, and he gives a dressing room that will to win and that steel and determination. You know, he's you'd have Percy in any team. You know, he's a real trenches, backs to the wall type of person. So if things aren't going well, Percy is the man to call on, and we're glad that we've got him. Alessandro Pistoni. As you can see from his hairstyle and his dress sense, he's very flamboyant. Typical Italian, fairly laid back, you know, a lot of gestures, hand gestures, but I think that he was one of the reasons why Inter Milan sold Roberto Carlos, because they knew he would come in and take Roberto Carlos's place. Surprising that they actually sold him to Newcastle, though they got a very good offer and they paid a lot of money for him. But, you know, he was the captain of the Italy on the 21 team. All the things you'd expect from an Italian, very good defender. And also, he's only 22 years old, so he's got a big future ahead of him also. As long as he can sort his dress sense out, I'm sure that, you know, he'll be okay. Number 2, Warren Barton. He's probably the fittest player at the club. Runs around a lot. He causes a lot of problems for the opposition because he ends up in a lot of unusual positions. Sometimes he ends up in centre forward. He's scored a few goals and he's very fit, very enthusiastic. He's a sartorial elegance, Warren. He loves his clothes. His wife's just having a baby, so we're all taking the mickey out of him at the moment because he keeps coming in immaculately dressed, and we're sure that'll change once, you know, the baby comes and he's going to have baby sick down him, but he's looking forward to it. David Batty, number 4, probably the most competitive player in the league, which shows from the amount of times he's been booked and sent off, but, you know, I think that a lot of that is really because of who he is. You know, because David is a very fair player, very tough, very hard, uncompromising, but he doesn't mean to hurt anyone deliberately. And I think a lot of the bookings and sending offs have been very harsh. He would be one of the first names on the team sheet, on any team sheet. England's also, I may add. So he's one player we really can't do without. Robert Lee, club captain. He's one who successfully converted from an out-and-out winger into a central midfield player, who's a very strong, hard-tackling, hard-working, goal-scoring midfield player, although he hasn't scored as many goals this year as he did last year, but really because of the way the team's been playing. But Rob will score goals from midfield, and another one who I think is a certainty for France with England. And he's also suffered now and again with injury, and when he hasn't played, we've missed him. Gary Speed, number 11. Very good on the far post, excellent in the air, very fit, very strong. And I think that next season, really because of the last 4 or 5 games he's had here, next season he'll have the confidence to go on, and I expect him really to be hitting double figures next season, to be, you know, one of the main players in the Premier League, not just in you know, not just in Newcastle's team. Very hard worker, willing to listen, willing to learn. I've got a lot of time for Gary, and you know, I'm sure that everything will come right for him next season. Timuri Ketspire, the Georgian assassin. Well, he's temperamental, Timuri, but he wants to play and he wants to win. But a real professional, you know, looks after himself well, if we're on the bench together, he always wants to warm up. I mean, at my age, I just want to sit out on the bench and maybe get on for the last 15 minutes if I'm not playing. But Timur is very eager to get on. He warms up for 15 minutes, and he warms up even harder than the players who are actually out there on the pitch. So, you know, he has a will to win and a willingness to play, and he wants to play, which is a good thing. So, you know, Timur is, as I said before, you know, he's a very important member of the squad. Alan Shearer, number 9, back home. He hasn't got the pace or the skill of Ronaldo, but in terms of goal-scoring ability, he's way beyond Ronaldo in terms of creating chances. If Alan played for Brazil, he would just score so many goals because of the way they play. In terms of being clinical, putting the ball in the back of the net, being in the right place at the right time, either foot, good in the air, brave, not afraid to score, scores goals, off the knee, off the backside. Alan's the man, and he's got a single-minded attitude in terms of wanting to be a winner.
So there we are. Well done, John Barnes.